At this point, I would like to invite on stage Bwana Edward Mbugua, Utumishi Girls founder. Karibu, sir.
The First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mama Rachel Ruto, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, Honorable Julius Migozi Ogamba, Her Excellency, the Governor of Nakuru County, Madam Susan Kihika, all the Honorable Senators, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service and the officers and all the uniform officers present, the bereaved families and the parents and students of Utumishi Girls, the teachers and the people present who have attended this function to mourn with us. I want to take this opportunity on my own behalf, on my family, and the members of the BUM, which has already been dissolved, to convey my sincere condolences to the family, friends, relatives, and the fraternity of the Utumishi Girls. Our condolences following the death of our students who perished in this unfortunate incident. From that, I would like to say I have been seeing a lot in the social media talking about the school. They don't know how it started, but they were being told that the school was started by Edward Mbugua. That is true. I'm the one called Edward Mbugua. The school started, we started in 2018. I was in my first year as the Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service. I came for a prize giving day in July at Utumishi Boys. When I was there, one of the parents challenged us. He asked us, "You policemen, do you only give birth to boys and not to girls? Why did you build a school for the boys and you forgot about the girls?" Maybe the parent was not aware that when the boys' school started in 1993, it was a mixed school. But let alone, a decision was made to separate the boys and the girls. And that is how the school was separated. So I challenge the parent, if you are ready for us to build a school for the girls, I'm ready to read in starting the school. And then I donated Kenya shillings, 100,000 shillings to start the school. I challenged the parents and those people who are present this time to start contributing for the school. By the end of the contribution, we had only contributed 310,000, which I handed over for custody to Mr. Minor, the principal for Utumishi Boys. Later on, when I returned to the office, I wrote a signal to all my regional police commanders to sensitize the officers on the importance of having a girls' school. After some time, I saw that was not enough. The message was not conveyed in the manner which I expected the message to be conveyed. So I visited all the 8 regions, from northeastern to Nyanza, western, each and every region. Personally, I visited all those areas and talked to the officers, and their response changed, and they started contributing towards the girls. We started the construction of the school in September 2018. By the end of 2019, December, the school was complete, and I sought the registration of the school, which was inspected and duly filed to conform with the requirement of the Ministry of Education, and the school was registered. So we had our first intake in 2020, and we enlisted 96 girls that particular time. That's how the school started. After that, there were questions on how the dormitory which was set on fire was named after my daughter. Yes, it is true, it is named after her. What happened is that in June of 2021, my daughter was involved in a road accident in Nairobi, and she died at the scene. My friends and other people contributed to her funeral. After the funeral, I had excess money, and I told my family, this money is going to another cause, we are not going to use the money. So during Harambee, I donated 10 million shillings, part of which was my contribution, and part was the funds which were meant for the funeral of my daughter. I think I have made that clear. So those who have been asking what happened, that is exactly what happened. The next thing I want to say is that we should consider, I'm not aware why a decision was made that the students should learn as a mixed school from standard grade 1 up to grade 9. But when to go to grade 10, they are separated. After that, they finish grade 12. When they go to the university, once again, they come together. Even at home, we don't separate boys and girls. If you have both, you keep in the same home. So we should consider why there is that idea of separating the girls and the boys. Me, myself, I would recommend that they should be trained together. The other thing I ask, and I don't think, maybe very few people, not more than 10 of them, who do not bear the blame of what happened. Not necessarily to Tumizi girls, even in other schools where we have had these things. Because myself, I'm to blame. I started the school, and this is why this thing happened. The BOM of the school was also to blame. Why? They never complained that they had been given excess students who they could not comfortably accommodate and even have the other facilities. We never complained, even though we are told. And also you, I'm challenging you, who, when you are told that there should be 100% transition from junior secondary to senior secondary, I don't think there is anybody, including our members of parliament, who petitioned the government to give them time so that we could build enough classrooms, enough dormitories to accommodate our children. So, even the clergy, you are still there. And even I can also blame you, you are the people who started boarding schools and even schooling. Was it not started with the missionaries? Bishop, am I speaking the truth? Yeah, so everybody here is to blame for what is happening. And we should check that and have dialogue, note what went wrong, because these are not the first fires to happen in our secondary schools. And then when we sit down and dialogue, we find the way forward. And when we find the way forward, we sit down and implement what we have found is the cause of the problem. Without that, we will be repeating, coming here, talking, and then without any progress. The other thing I think I would recommend is that we should have day schools. Those dormitories can be converted to workshop for training, and we should also try to make the schools within our area the best schools. But the problem is we don't have a good school in a certain area. So the student will travel from Nyanza, Migori, he wants to go to Alliance. Another one is traveling from Kapengoria, he wants to go to Mangu. But if there were good schools in that area, there would be no need of taking your child from the farthest head in Kware, taking her to Marada Boys in Nyanza. So those are some of the recommendations I'm making to you to be considered by the government so that we can be able to improve. Thank you, and may the Almighty God keep the departed souls in eternal peace. Thank you, and God bless you.
At this point,